Hello you. Today we're going to look at building our own pickups. What I got gathered here is a assortment of what you're going to need and the formula for which magnets you're going to be using and whatnot. You can go with one of two types of wire. It's called 42 gauge poly wire. It's just copper wire with polymer coating on it. This is form bar. It's 42 gauge as well. You can tell that there is a difference between the two. This is what they used on the old vintage strats and whatnot. This stuff costs a little bit more, so if you want to practice, I would practice with the poly first and then go with the form bar. Either way, the pickup's going to sound good. This is flat work. That's your bottom piece, and it's already got the eyelets put in so that you can wrap your wire and put your solder on. That's the top piece. These are magnets. They come in various sizes. I don't know if you can see this. There's a little bevel on the top, nothing on the bottom. And they come in several different sizes. That flat work. And we're going to put it together to make ourselves a bobbin. That's what this piece would be called. And then after we make a bobbin, we're going to put it on the pickup winder. And we're going to make a pickup, single coil. Standard vintage is anywhere between 7,500 to 8,000 wraps. We're going to wrap it a little bit different. We're going to be doing a scatter wrap, but more about that when we actually start wrapping. Right now we're going to start by putting together a bobbin. Alright, I've already taken the liberty of organizing the magnets. The vintage stagger would be 671 thou for the low E and the A string. Then we're going to go to a 710 thou for the D and the G string. And the very last two will be on the B string would be a 630 thou. And on the very last low E would be 650 thou. Put these in. I've seen people come up with hammers and knocking magnets in. Alnico 5, which is what type of magnet this is very hard. If you hit it with a hammer, there's a good chance that you're actually going to wreck it, taking chips out of it. And I do believe that if you do take chips out of it or crack it, that you're going to mess up with the magnetic field and you're not going to get the sound that you want. So what I do, I use a small 1-ton press, a little arbor press. That's a great little gadget. That works pretty easy. There ain't nothing special about it. I've machined out a jig. This one's about 3/8. Let's put the gap that we're going to want. Carefully put the piece in like that. Set it over top. Make sure you orient it right, because the top part of the eyelets are going to be facing towards you, so this will be your low E and that will be your high E. Take your magnet with the bevel, face it down so that your eyelets are facing down as well. And don't set the eyelets straight on top of this, because then your flat work's going to be on an angle. So set the eyelets just off of it, or an offset if you will. Take the bevel, put the bevel down, and slowly and evenly apply pressure. It's not going to take a lot to knock that through. And we'll do the same with all the rest of them. That's the first two are 671 thou. Do your best to keep it even. If you don't, you might end up taking a chunk out of the flat work. should be all even across the bottom. So we grab this. This doesn't really matter which way it goes. Yeah, let's do it this way. Now you start on these two. Just get it started. That should be pretty tight. Just slide it out. Feel again at the bottom. There. Make sure these are all straight. Good there. Forward a little bit. Alright. That's how you make a bobbin. After you finish sanding all this down and making sure there's no edges on it, I like to get a clear spray and spray over it. It helps make it so that the edges are nice and smooth as well, and it coats everything, and it acts like a glue in a way to hold everything together real nice and neat. Let it sit and dry for 24 hours, and when it's finished, bring it in, double check, fill the edges, break your sandpaper back out, and make sure you get any more sharp edges that might have formed from the paint, and just go over it. What we're trying to do is stop the wire from grabbing onto anything while we're winding. So if it does grab, there's a good chance it's going to break. Alright, round two.